Ever feel like the world runs on projects? Well, you're not alone. And where there are projects, there are program managers, keeping those big picture goals on track. Today, we're diving deep into what it really takes to be a successful program manager. We're taking cues from RoleCatcher, a career platform that's got its finger on the pulse of what employers are looking for. So if you're ready to ditch the 9 to 5 and step into a role that's both challenging and rewarding, you're in the right place. We'll unpack what program managers actually do. Spoiler alert. It's more than just fancy Gantt charts and endless meetings. We'll weigh the pros and cons, because no job is perfect, right? And we'll give you actionable advice on how to break into this competitive field. And to help us navigate these waters, we're joined by expert speakers name.
Glad to be here. Program management is definitely having a moment, and RoleCatcher has some fascinating insights into where this career path is headed.
So let's jump right in. For those just dipping their toes into the project management pool, can you break down what a program manager actually does?
At its core, program management is about overseeing a portfolio of projects, often happening simultaneously, and making sure they all align with the organization's big picture strategic goals. But it's not just about checking boxes and keeping things on schedule. It's about strategy, leadership, and driving real business value.
Driving business value, that's what gets the C-suite's attention. But how does a program manager directly impact a company's bottom line? I mean, I wouldn't think profitability is top of mind when you're juggling multiple teams and deadlines.
That's where the program part comes in. You see, a program manager isn't just concerned with individual projects in isolation. They're thinking about how each project contributes to the overall success of the program and, ultimately, the organization's strategic objectives.
So it's a more strategic way of thinking about projects, not just are we on time and on budget, but are we actually moving the needle on what matters most to the company?
Exactly. A good program manager is always asking, what's the bigger picture here, and how can we maximize the return on investment for these projects?
So they need to be good with numbers then, not just a project cheerleader.
Absolutely. Budgeting and resource allocation are crucial skills for any program manager. They're masters at identifying potential risks early on, those budget busters that can sneak up on you, and then figuring out how to either mitigate them or adjust the plan accordingly. Think of them as financial strategists for projects.
Okay, that makes sense. So you're not just managing tasks, you're managing money, risk, and probably a whole lot of personalities too, right?
They're not wrong. Managing stakeholders, and that includes everyone from team members to senior leadership to external clients, is a huge part of the job. It requires strong communication and leadership skills, the ability to build relationships, and, dare I say it, a bit of diplomacy from time to time. There's a reason people joke about program management being like herding cats.
It does sound like you need the perfect blend of organization, vision, and, well, maybe a bit of cat herding experience. So for those listening who are thinking, this sounds like ME, where do they even begin? Is it all about fancy degrees and certifications?
That's where RoleCatcher's insights are so valuable. They've found that while formal qualifications definitely have their place, practical experience is absolutely king.
So it's more about real-world know-how than just having a bunch of letters after your name.
Exactly. Think about it. Would you rather hire a program manager who's only read about risk mitigation strategies in a textbook, or someone who's actually steered a project through choppy waters and come out on top?
Experience wins every time. So how can someone break into the field if they don't already have program manager on their business card?
RoleCatcher highlights internships as a fantastic starting point. It's a chance to get your feet wet, work on real projects, and see firsthand what the day-to-day life of a program manager looks like.
Internships. Got it. What about those who are maybe a bit further along in their careers?
Volunteering for project-based roles within your current company is another excellent strategy. It allows you to develop those critical project management muscles, even if you're not leading the entire show just yet. And don't underestimate the power of simply raising your hand and asking to be involved in project teams.
I love that it shows initiative. But let's talk about the job market for a second. It's competitive out there. Let's say you've got some experience under your belt, you volunteer for some key projects, maybe even managed a few smaller ones along the way. How do you stand out from the crowd when you're going for those big program manager roles?
That's where certifications can really make a difference. Earning recognized credentials like the Project Management Professional, PMP, Certified Associate in Project Management, CAPM, Prince 2, or certifications in Agile methodologies shows potential employers you're serious about the field.
So it's kind of like a stamp of approval, showing you've got the knowledge and the skills.
Precisely. But beyond certifications, it's also about what you bring to the table in terms of proven success.
You're talking about building a strong portfolio, right?
Exactly. And not just listing projects you've worked on. It's about showcasing your achievements in a way that's clear, concise, and quantifiable. Don't just say you managed a budget.
Mhm.
Tell them how you brought the project in 10% under budget while exceeding stakeholder expectations. Give them concrete examples of the impact you've made.
Show, don't tell. I
Yeah.
like it. What about networking? I've heard that can be a game changer in program management.
Networking is absolutely essential in any field, but it's especially crucial in program management. Why? Because it's such a collaborative field. You're constantly interacting with different teams, departments, and stakeholders.
So how do you network effectively in this field?
Attending industry events is a great start. Think conferences, workshops, even local meetups. But don't just show up and collect business cards. Engage in meaningful conversations, ask insightful questions, and listen more than you talk.
It's about building genuine connections, not just trying to hand out your resume to anyone who will take it.
You got it. And don't underestimate the power of online networking. Platforms like LinkedIn are gold mines for connecting with other program management professionals, staying up to date on industry trends, and even finding your next dream job.
Okay, so we've got building your skills, building your portfolio, and building your network. It's like you're building your own program manager starter kit. But RoleCatcher also talks about how the rise of AI is changing the recruitment game, right?
That's a great point, and it's something aspiring program managers definitely need to be aware of.
So how AI changing the game? What do program managers need to know to navigate this new world?
Well, in the past, recruiters mainly relied on keywords to match candidates with jobs. You stuff your resume with the right buzzwords and boom, you get the interview. But AI is changing all that.
So it's not just about ticking boxes anymore.
Not at all. RoleCatcher has found that AI-powered recruitment platforms are going way beyond keywords. They're analyzing data from resumes, social media profiles, even online portfolios to assess candidates on a much deeper level.
Okay, so what does that actually mean for someone who's applying for program manager roles? What kind of data are these AI platforms looking at?
Well, they're looking at your skills, of course, but also things like your experience level, the types of projects you've worked on, the industries you've worked in, even your communication style and how you collaborate with others.
It's like AI is building a much more nuanced picture of you as a candidate.
Exactly. It's not just about what you've done, but how you've done it.
So how can aspiring program managers adapt their approach to job hunting in this AI-driven world?
It's all about being authentic and showcasing the skills and experience that make you uniquely qualified. Don't just rely on a generic resume template. Tailor your resume and online profiles to highlight the specific skills and experience that align with the roles you're targeting.
So it's more important than ever to do your research on the companies and roles you're interested in.
Absolutely. Understand what they're looking for and then make sure your materials reflect those qualifications. And don't be afraid to let your personality shine through.
Because at the end of the day, even with AI in the mix, people are still hiring people, right?
100%.
This has been incredibly insightful. So much to think about for those who are considering a career in program management or are already on that path. Any final words of wisdom from RoleCatcher that you can leave us with?
Program management is a demanding field, but it's also incredibly rewarding. You get to work on projects that have a real impact, and you're constantly learning and growing. So if you're up for a challenge and you're passionate about bringing ideas to life, this could be the perfect career path for you.
And remember, in the age of AI, it's more important than ever to build a strong online presence, network strategically, and showcase what makes you unique. A huge thank you to Expert Speaker's Name for taking us on this deep dive into the world of program management. Don't forget to check out the show notes for links to RoleCatcher and all the other resources we've mentioned. And to all our listeners, until next time, keep diving deep.